A father and daughter combo squatting in houses, filing fake documents in order to claim ownership. The sovereign citizen fun never ends. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to the Common Sense Academy. I'm your host, Joe Palmetto. If you like my content, please like, subscribe, comment, and share. Also, consider purchasing the book that I bought titled Sovereign Citizens. It's a great introduction to the sovereign citizen movement and their ideology. Now, we're going to watch two news stories on this duo who defrauded multiple homeowners and tried to move into a house that is not theirs. But before we do so, everyone raise your cup, your glass in the air. Cheers with me. It tastes better when we sip together at the same time. Sip. Very delicious.
St. John Parish deputies urge property owners to protect their empty homes from a father and daughter accused of filing fake paperwork to try to take over property deeds. Deputies arrested Louis Giles Jr. and Kayla Giles on June 15th in LaPlace, alleging their involvement in a major financial crime scheme. They're now out on bond. Deputies say they claim they have sovereign citizenship, meaning they believe the current governmental structure doesn't apply to them. Each was booked on numerous felony charges. The father has a record dating back to 2003. He now faces a total of 150 charges of false public filings.
There's a warning tonight from the sheriff's office in St. John the Baptist Parish about a pretty bizarre scheme. Deputies arrested two people accused of moving into a vacant home that wasn't theirs and going through some pretty extreme steps to make it look like they owned it. Our Lester Dewey has been looking into this one. Lester, they say this one can happen anywhere.
That's right. After squatters allegedly took ownership of an empty home that wasn't theirs, law enforcement believe this is a common scheme happening across the state and country, and one homeowner basically had to confront the criminals on his own property.
Go stand at the road. Get out of the house. Go stand at the property. 911. The police are on the way. Okay.
How would you feel coming home to this?
This is my house and not standing at the road. Not standing at the road. This is my property.
That's the owner of this home in St. John the Baptist Parish confronting someone he says was basically squatting at his place for quite some time while it was being renovated after Hurricane Ida.
The victim, when he was confronted by Mr. Giles, he was very standoffish with the victim, and he basically told him to get off my property. So it'd be like coming home and somebody's walking or driving around whatever particular parish you live in, window shopping for a new home when they have no legal right to the house.
We're told Louis Giles Jr. and his daughter Kayla Giles of LaPlace were claiming to be sovereign citizens and were arrested last week by deputies with the St. John the Baptist Parish Sheriff's Office in connection with this major financial crimes investigation.
They don't believe they're subject to the laws of the local, state, and federal governments. They have kind of an ideology that they are, in essence, strawmen for the government, and that the government's placed some type of value on them as a person.
Deputies say the pair was basically able to use mail with the property's address to file a bogus deed with the parish clerk of court, and they're accused of doing it to several homes.
Not only is the landowner re-victimized, most of the homes that are being chosen seem to be houses that either are in flux of being repaired and or possibly up for some type of other issues where the homeowners may not be there.
Detective Lieutenant Michael Shard says the majority of these victims were recovering from Hurricane Ida. He urges homeowners, if they are getting renovations on a home or just have an extra property in general, to be vigilant and suspicious of weird mail and reach out to officials regularly to make sure your titles and documents are all in order.
It really has to come down to the consumer and the owner of the home to be that vigilant, because they might receive mail. It's very possible that you could have your address forwarded by somebody looking to do some type of document fraud. So it's best to check with the Postal Service and make sure you had no unauthorized forwarding of your address to another home.
I'm told in a previous financial crimes investigation, along with this current case, Louis Giles now faces nearly 150 charges of false public filings. Shard also urges people to get to know your neighbors, to keep a watchful eye on your property when you're gone. Elizabeth?
All right, good information, Lester. Thank you.
So a couple of comments here on this father-daughter duo, Louis Giles Jr. and Kayla Giles. I did a little bit of research, and I don't know if it was her. Maybe somebody can confirm this, but Kayla Giles had faced a homicide charge a couple of years ago. It might have been a different Kayla Giles, so just keep that in mind. But these two, we see a lot of this squatting form of sovereign citizenship. I don't know if, Lewis and Kayla, if they belong to the Waukesha Nation or any of the sovereign citizen groups that we know exist in the southern United States, or if they just picked it up online, adopted it on their own. This guy had to come home and confront them on his property. These are hurricane victims, people living in these houses, and I'm sorry, not living in these houses because they're being repaired due to the effects of a hurricane. And these sovereign citizens are moving in there and squatting and trying to take their property. It's crazy. It is literally insane. This guy confronts them on his, and imagine coming back to your house and there's other people living in it. I must say, it's a very nice house. That's the funny thing. These sovereign citizens who squat and try to steal houses, they ain't stealing a $40, $80, $90,000 house. Okay. They're stealing very expensive, very nice houses. I like this sheriff here. I always find it interesting when people attempt to explain the sovereign citizen movement in a couple of sentences. It's not easy. He said something along the lines of, they're people that believe there's a dollar value on them. I'm going to have to come up with the best. I'm going to come up with the best one sentence explanation of the sovereign citizen movement. Wikipedia always calls it a loose knit network, or a loose network of individuals. I think basically you can just say it's people who don't recognize the sovereignty or authority of the national government under which they live, and they use conspiracy theories to back up these claims. And the theories are so varied that it's hard to really pin one of them down. These people filed bogus deeds with the courthouse, bogus deeds. More of this paper terrorism, fake paperwork type of stuff. And they said that Mr. Lewis Giles is going to face 150 charges, and 150 individual charges. That is rough. That is rough, everybody. Law enforcement and the courts, they don't mess around with this type of thing. It's probably going to come against them, and it's going to come hard. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. My name is Joe Palmetto, Joe the Lawyer. This is Common Sense Academy. We keep a watch on sovereign citizens like this who squat, who do damage to people. If you want to learn more about the sovereign citizen movement, buy my book, Sovereign Citizens. The link is in the description below. You can get it on Amazon. You can get a physical copy. You can get it on Kindle and read it on your Kindle. All right, everybody, thank you for tuning in. Have a great day. Joe Palmetto out.